Hey guys, today we're reviewing my round 7 I had versus Tomoyuki, aka Snow, a really strong Japanese player. He won one of the earlier Victory Road tours with Zamazenta that I covered before, and he's been around for a long time. He top 4 worlds, just one of the strongest Japanese players. And I thought it would be a good idea to review our set because it was really back and forth. And as you can see here, I am running back my San Antonio team. Just posted a video on my tournament run as well if you guys want to watch that. But anyways, going through this, just running back my 6. And facing a strong player like Snow was a bit scary. But, you know, at these ICs, you're always going to be facing a strong level of play. So it's also a kind of a cool feeling because it kind of, you compete with the very best, right? And yeah, I'm running Ice Rider and he's running Zama. And his Zama team is the same thing he's been running for a long time. So let's actually get there in a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, here. This is like the most classic Zama team that's been around this regulation so far. Everyone refers this to his team after he won Victory Road. And it's the combination of Chun-Pao, Chiyu, Flutter, Amonga, Zama. And his last pick is... He's running Raging Bull, but he originally won a Rillaboom. I think the interchange between these two pieces, I've also seen Cornerstone on the slot. But these 5 Mons are kind of the standard Pokemon for Zamazenta right now. So looking into this matchup, I knew I had 2 general game puts I wanted to approach with. My first one is my Ice Rider. Terra Fairy Ice Rider is actually kind of cool here because he is still Heavy Slam. A lot of Zamazentas on these builds right now are attacking Behemoth Bash. But with Heavy Slam, it means that the Fairy Ice Rider can still sit in front decently well, as although it's super effective, the weight means the base power of Heavy Slam is not that much on the Ice Rider. So I wanted to try Heart Flame Ice Rider Among Us Urshifu, and that was our standard game plan into Zamazenta when we were practicing this before practice. Of course, though, I am facing Snow, the original creator on this, so his approach to my team might be a little bit more different. So I was kind of curious to see what he would bring, but I knew for a fact that he was always going to bring Zama, Chun-Pao with Among Us. I think these 3 are the best pieces he can bring versus me, and that last piece is very flexible. Chiyu makes sense if he's covering for Ice Rider more. Flutter is better for Roaring Moon lead, and Raging Bolt is better for my Urshifu and Roaring Moon combination. But yeah, getting right into it now. As you see here, I'm going to start with my Heart Flame Calyrex, and he does Chun-Pao Zama. I believe he's going to do Chun-Pao Zama for all of our games here, just because it is a very oppressive lead, and it forces me to kind of just respect it while he's trading damage. So here, I decided to go for Spiky Shield and Terra Fairy Trick Room. Spiky Shield is my safest play all around because although I can attack with it, if he decides to double my Ogerpon, I'm in a bad spot because I want to preserve my Ogerpon for his back Among Us. So my thought process was Spiky Shield was very safe here in case he doubled my Ogerpon, and my Calyrex is never threatened with a KO here, so I have a safe Trick Room. Or, well, it was safe for a bit until he clicks the double. By doubling Ice Crash Body Press, my Ice Rider takes more than half. And of course, we're risking the flinch chance here, and he gets the Ice Crash flinch. I think Japanese Ice Crash is always his flinch. I know Shohei had that with Michael at Worlds, and a lot of my friends like to joke that Japanese cards tend to be luckier. Yeah, he made a good read, and I got punished with the flinch. Ice Crash does have a flinch chance, but obviously here I am at a big disadvantage, because I really need that Trick Room up. If I got Trick Room, I would have had Ogerpon still be able to attack in Trick Room here. But now here I'm basically forced to follow me. I'm going to lose my Ogerpon to get up a Trick Room here, and I am down. I'll be down 1 Pokemon, and my restricted is at 20% basically, right? So a really bad start on my part. Just because like this play here is really safe. He gets that Crunch Body Press, and I lose my Heart Flame, which is really bad for the Among Us in the back. Among Us is going to be a big problem now with Heart Flame being gone. On the bright side though, I do get Trick 'em Up, so I can get in my second sweeper. I decide to get an Urshifu here, because Urshifu is threatening the Chen Pao here, so he's forced to respect the Surge Strikes. It's also applying a lot of pressure on the Chen Pao, on the zamazenta. As you see here, I lock in really fast. I click Taunt into the Chen Pao and go Amoonguss. After that turn 1, I know I'm so far behind, I really needed a big read to kind of swing myself back into the game. And by clicking Taunt, I'm covering the Chen Pao to swap to Amoonguss, because with Mystic Water surging, the Chen Pao is in range of that hit. So he has to swap out to keep it alive. If he stays in, that's extremely risky, so I figured that this was my best play. And it pays off. He ends up swapping to Amoonguss here, so my taunt goes off, and Amoonguss can no longer Spore, which is really beneficial. And the bright side here too, he even Terra Dragons. So he was covering for surging on Chen Pao and also surging on Zama by coming Terra Dragon. But I went for the one play he didn't expect to put me back in the game. Yeah, Wyguard here is just a cover for Glacial, so his monkeys gets in safely, so a very safe play on his part. But I went for the aggressive read to punish this safe play. Here, Surging Spore the Zama is pretty safe. My idea behind Surging was just kind of put the Zama in range of Glacial later. I think another option I had was actually taunting the Zama the first turn. So after Spore, I can get in my Calyrex and click Glacial. But I believe I need Surging, so Glacial is a 2-hit KO onto it, but I wasn't exactly so sure. But yeah, right now it's sort of an awkward spot because I can't safely get into my Ice Rider immediately without Spore and Azama, so I'm forced to kind of stop my own Dragon turn, sadly, and the taunt turns, just so I can get off this free Spore. Because as you see here, Tomoyuki is going to click Sludge Bomb into my Urshifu, and if I swapped out to Ursh immediately to Calyrex, I actually would have lost my Calyrex, and then the Spore wouldn't have gone off, right? So I needed a Spore plus Surging here to get guaranteed damage and to get my free swap into Ice Rider afterwards. So Zama can stay asleep, right? And then Sludge Bomb afterwards into my Calyrex won't go first, as I can go for Side Pollen and heal the damage, so Sludge Bomb doesn't KO me. So there's 2 turns Trick Room left. The awkward part here is actually 1 turn of Taunt, so afterwards the Amoonguss can Spore me, which is going to be really awkward. But I have another choice to kind of really swap here. I need my Ice Rider back healthy, so I can come back in this game. Yeah, so my best play here is to go for Side Pollen, so I can spam Glacial later, and I hope the Zama can stay asleep for at least 2 more turns, so I have more opportunities to click Glacial Lens, was my thought process. But yeah, the Pollen comes off. The min speed Amoonguss is really good still. Still using my San Antonio spread, just so I can have the faster Pollens in the Trick Room, so Sludge Bomb wouldn't KO me. It could have been Speed Tie, I actually don't know it's set, but most Amoonguss are not min speed right now, so I think that this was a pretty safe play on my part, assuming I was faster in Trick Room. Last turn Trick Room here is a little bit awkward. I just go for a Glacial and Pollen, hoping that maybe he goes for Sludge Bomb instead of Spore. And also to heal my Ice Rider back to almost full was my thought process. Because I didn't want to really click another turn of Spore on his Protect, so I just wanted to guarantee recovery and to maybe get guaranteed damage off, assuming he doesn't go for Spore. But Spore from him is very safe, so this play is only going to really work out for me if I can get a 1 turn wake afterwards. And that's kind of what comes down to Zamazenta matchup. I feel that if you're playing the Calyrex Amoonguss game, it comes down to sleep turns oftentimes, which is really tricky. So he puts me to sleep. He doesn't protect the Zama, so I could have Spored it technically, but I just wanted recovery in case he went for Protect on Zama. And yeah, he's just going for Heavy Summon on Amoonguss to kind of put it, just get rid of it. But yeah, at this point, I need a 1 turn wake to come back in the game again. I've been kind of on the back foot since the turn 1. So, I kind of just need to get a little more lucky. and this is the decider, really. If I don't wake up here, I lose on the spot. If I wake up here, I have another shot come back in the game. But yeah, Tomoyuki at this point is going to try to get my Mungus. If I don't protect, I'm going to lose it. So I'm just protecting here because body pressing the Mungus or heavy slam is the safest play. And I end up waking up here with Ice Rider. There's no wide guard being clicked, so Glacial does massive damage to both targets. And that's in range of another Glacial, which is really good. This was a little bit weird. I figured my best play here was Glacial again plus Pollen Puff, because if he wide guards, that means my Mungus gets another Pollen Puff off to recover my Calyrex. And I figured that he might pivot out the Mungus as well to get Regenerator, so I felt like Glacial was a pretty safe play on my part. You see me debating it for a bit, but I decided to just go for Self Pollen, just cover for the wide guard option. But I figured he would go for White Guard. I felt like Glacial was quite nice. If I was making this play, though, another option I could have done was Glacial and double protect, if I get it. Because he obviously wants to try to get rid of my Mungus here. But I think it's actually better for my Mungus to go down, so I get to freeze up the Urshifu afterwards. Because after getting rid of Zama, my Urshifu comes in and has immediate pressure on his Chien-Pao. And also has pressure in Chi-Yu with Aqua Jet. Yeah, but this is a massive turn. With Zama being gone, I can freely click Glacial even more times. And breaking the Chien-Pao Sash is quite nice as well. Yeah, this turn's weird. Going back to the Mungus, kind of what I was expecting with him here, with Mungus, is Rage Powder. So with Rage Powder, he can reject my Surging, so I can't Surge into Chien-Pao. So I figured my best play was Protect into Taunt to cover for Rage Powder Icicle Crash. Basically, I didn't want my Calyrex to be in range of the Heat Wave in endgame. We had that because at this point I believe that he always has Chi-Yu. Because if he had Flutter, he would have brought out Flutter first. Yeah, so I protect here, but he protects his Mungus, and this is super awkward. Because nothing happens here. He goes for Crash, we go for both Protect, so very even board state. And from here, it's going to come down to Icicle Crash again. If he crashes my Calyrex and gets a flinch, I auto-lose. So I always have to just bank on not getting flinch here, clicking Glacial. This turn is weird. I click Taunt to basically avoid Rocky Helmet damage. I'm figuring here he's gonna click the Rage Powder again, so he can safely get the Crash off. I mean, he always gonna get the Crash off anyways if he clicks so many lands, but to safely preserve the Chien-Pao was my thought process. So I go for Taunt again. This ends up being a mistake, though, because he swaps out to Chi-Yu. One option I think I could have done to cover this was just Surge into Chien-Pao, honestly, again. And then, well, to cover this exact play, I could have Surged into Chien-Pao Glacial. That probably would have killed, because single target Glacial. It should have do a whole lot. But actually, it was sort of ruined. So, my best play there to cover this exact play was Aqua Jet the Mungus, calling the Chi-Yu swap, and clicking Glacial Lance again. But I honestly thought he would keep the Mungus in, so it was sort of a call. It was a very aggressive swap he made, but it made sense. So maybe in hindsight now, like, Jet the Mungus was better, just to cover for Chi-Yu swap, and Glacial picks that up as well. The tricky part here is now, this is a 50-50. To kind of explain the 50-50 more, I have two plays, right? I have Aqua Jet pressure. So Chiyu here is in range of Aqua Jet, but the Amoonguss here can click a Rage Powder. But I have Taunt. So if I'm calling Rage Powder and he clicks Rage Powder Heat Wave, my safest play is Protect and taunting the Amoonguss to avoid the Rage Powder Heat Wave. And in the following turn, I can click Aqua Jet afterwards. That's exactly what I do. What Snow can do is call out me going for this taunt play and go for a double attack my Ursh. But my thought process here was I clicked a taunt the first. I mean, honestly, I've been clicking taunt like the last like 3-4 turns with Urshifu, so I figured he would respect the Aqua Jet. So I'm like, okay, surely he's not gonna expect me to taunt again. So I go in on this play. But I got it wrong, and you can see me kind of be a little disappointed. After he lands a Heat Wave, I can still have a chance if he misses Heat Wave, but he lands it, so that means I'm in range of Sludge Bomb. So he gets the 50-50 right, and that puts him, back in the game. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how back and forth this game was. I honestly thought it was like immediately over after turn 1, but I being able to bring back this game felt really good. And I thought I really had it locked towards the end, but this came down to 50-50, and it was a little bit disappointing loss. And I just had to bank on Heat Wave miss right here. You can see me kind of stressing, hoping it misses, but it doesn't. So I lose game 1 in a very intense back and forth set. So yeah, that wasn't my best showing. I think I showed that I could definitely play out even a bad spot, but it showed how tricky and how much disadvantage I was after the turn 1. But almost being able to bring it back felt kind of nice. So my ideas on adjustments is dropping Ice Rider, because if I get flinch again, I'm such a bad spot. So what I think of my next adjustment to cover for the 4 he brought was Roaring Moon and Urshifu. So actually, I'll skip forward a little bit to there. So the idea behind Urshifu Roaring Moon is that I have Tail and plus Surge Strikes into the Chen Pao, but I also have the Aqua Jet Terra Acrobatics line into Chen Pao to cover for Chen Pao staying in still. This play will work because Tail and Surging covers for Chen Pao staying in, but they swap to Amoonguss. I take too much Rocky Hammer damage, and the Zamazenta can KO me. So by clicking Aqua Jet Terra Acro, it covers for Amoonguss staying in, swapping in, so I don't take as much Rocky Helmet chip, and I don't get KO'd by Body Press. Is the whole idea. So yeah, that's what I decided to do. And yep, game is starting now. Tomoyuki decides to mix it up a little bit by going Chiyu instead. Not what I expected. I think with Chiyu, he's expecting the same lead I did. So if I did Hard Flame Calyrex, he would have immediate Heat Wave plus Body Press. But by going faster, it kind of puts me at a immediate advantage. Yeah, so here I go for Aqua Jet Terrifying Acro. Like I said, it does something similar to Chiyu. Chiyu is Choice Scarf. So if Chiyu stays in, the Aqua Jet Terra Acro will kill it. If Chiyu swaps out, there's no really good switching to Aqua Jet plus Acro besides Raging Bolt. But if he's bringing Chiyu at this point, I know he doesn't have Raging Bolt because he needs Amoonguss plus Chen Pao. So this was a very safe play on my part. I think he's kind of debating it. Yeah, so Snow here swaps out to Amoonguss. This is the calling the tail and surging, right? But now with the addition of Aqua Jets, I have a much safer play. I'm just going all in on this. And hopefully being able to pick up Amoonguss with this double. As you see here, like Snow always Terra Dragons Zama. In this matchup, he honestly doesn't need any other Terra, so Terra Dragon always just covers for my my Surge and Strikes, right? So he wants to keep the Zama as healthy as possible, so his Terra makes a lot of sense. So go for the Jet, go for the Acro, and Amoonguss actually lives. I'm pretty sure he's max defense bold because that's what he ran for Victory Road. But the big thing here is my Urshifu live. So if I went for Surge and Strikes, I would get KO'd by Body Press. But this is a very clutch live. From here, I'm kind of unsure on what I'm doing. You can kind of see me panicking. I actually use up basically all the timer, trying to debate on what I want to use. Because I know I kind of want to keep the Ursh, but I also want Tailwind up for later, so I can sleep with Landorus or Urshifu. So, I kind of debated it for a bit. I realized Surgery was not my best play, so I actually ended up locking in Aqua Jet into Zama and knock off into Amoonguss to basically confirm the KO on Amoonguss. So if Urshifu stays alive, I can spam Surging. And if it goes down, I get some little bit chip, and then knock off killing Amoonguss means I can get Tailwind up again later, and bring out like my other sweeper basically. And by clicking Jet, it also means I don't have to waste Protect here, because we're gonna see what Snow does. Snow actually calls my Protect on my Urshifu, and clicks Heavy Summon my Rory Moon just to put in the range of Sucker Punch or another Body Press. Will Sword of Ruin. So Jet ends up actually being my best play here, because what I'm able to do the turn after is protect Tailwind to get a free swap to Amoonguss if he kills my Rory Moon. So yeah, definitely was kind of panicking on the choice of my options, but I end up picking the right pick because he mistargets my Ursh and goes for a Rory Moon instead. If it went the other way around, I think it would have been a lot harder because Chien-Pao is a bit annoying. But I still think if I got Tailwind up, I could have been okay, because I think Landorus in Tailwind is still pretty strong. And then here, like, I'm debating the Surging Tailwind, but then I realized that was kind of a dumb play, because like I said, I want the free swap, because all he has to do is Sucker Punch my Ursh, and I'm in a really bad spot. So I just go for Protect Tailwind, so I can have my redirection afterwards. And that's exactly what happens. So he goes for Sucker on my Ursh. Or he goes Sucker to my Rory Moon. It's about the same. But I think it makes more sense for him to Sucker to Urshifu. And we see here Body Press actually kills Rory Moon. I actually didn't expect to kill Rory Moon, but Sword of Ruin's really, really strong. And Rory Moon's defenses are not as amazing. And from here, it's basically game. Because he's shielded the back, there's no more Surging switch-in. The only way that this can go really wrong for me if his Chien-Pao's EV for Mystic Water Surging. Some players are EVing Chien-Pao and Cornerstone to live Mystic Water Surging. So I wasn't really completely sure, but I had a feeling for a team like his, he didn't really need it because he has Rocky Helmet and Amoonguss. So I just go for Surging, and if I kill the Chien-Pao, I basically win on the spot. Yeah, I'm gonna skip a few turns. Speed up a bit. Yeah, and Fury goes go for Rage Powder. And he clicks Sucker Punch. So basically, like, Snow at this point has to pray for a choke. If I don't Rage Powder, I lose my Ursh and I lose the game. So that's his best option at this point. But yeah, Chien-Pao is not the bulky one like I mentioned. And we're able to get the knockout. And basically, just I win the game too pretty cleanly because of that. Yeah, at this rate, Urshifu's can come in RK on the Chi-Yu. I still have 2 turns of Tailwind, so Chi-Yu cannot do anything versus Urshifu, Amoonguss, and Tailwind. He's taking time to kind of think for preparing for game 3, because at this point it's basically over. At this turn, I realized that I don't really need my Ursh anymore. I kind of just want to Surge into Chi-Yu so I can get Spore off. And if he does target out my Ursh, I get a free swap into Landorus, was my idea. Yep, so Chi-Yu's gone. Urshifu here was my restricted, basically. It's kind of funny that Urshifu Landorus instead of Ice Rider basically make up for my restricted because it just do so much damage. But yeah, a lot of my game points versus Zama, sometimes I drop the Ice Rider. So, yeah, it's kind of showing you here the power of the team. Like, you don't always need to be restricted with my team. Yeah, here at this point, I'm just going to Surge Zama to put in range Earth Power. Swap out Amoonguss because it's not doing any damage at this point. And I'm not risking any immediate crits because this is his first turn of sleep. 0 turn sleep right now. Maybe first turn after this. And, yeah. even a crit heavy slam from here doesn't kill Landorus. So I win the game right now. Yep, and Zama stays asleep. So I'm able to get the Earth Power off. Actually, his first turn. This is going to be second turn of sleep. And he stays asleep. Yeah. And Earth Power Surgeon is able to knock out the Zama. So yeah, that felt pretty good. The Roaring Moon line is very strong versus Zama teams, but I had a really big worry on game 3 of his adjustment. And that adjustment I'm worried about him bringing is Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt is pretty good versus Roaring Moon and Urshifu. It's only really bad versus Landorus, but he has Chien-Pao. So I was really expecting Raging Bolt as a lead or as a back. So I didn't want to go Roaring Moon Ursh again because the Terra, Acro, Jet, if he has Raging Bolt to swap into it, that's very safe, right? So what I wanted to do instead for this game was lead Landorus with Redirection. Because you look at Snow's team as well, he has 0 ground switch-ins. So I kind of want to use Landorus early for immediate damage and have Tailwind in the back of Urshifu, and kind of use Landorus in a way to beat every known team, including the Raging Bolts. I also wanted this game plan because for my round 1 Zamazenta I faced, that's also something I did. His team was a bit different, but all his Zamazenta teams, again, they don't have a ground resist. So I figured that my adjustment here made some sense to me, and that's why I went with it. So to kind of skip through it now. Yep, okay, go through it now. You see my exact adjustment like I talked about. He's always doing Chien-Pao Zama with Among Us in the back. The question is, did he bring Raging Bolt? So I go for Heart Flame Lando just to spam damage, use Landorus to damage trade, and use Ogre Pawn to just support my Landorus in the best way possible. So Follow Me Sansir covers for the Icicle Crash quite well, and also forces the Zamazenta to Terra, and Zamazenta takes. Should be taking around 40% from the Sansir here. Yeah, like here, I'm assuming like as long as I land Sansir, because he's not gonna click Wide Guard here. That's one thing as well. Like clicking Wide Guard turn 1 means he gets no damage off on Zama. And like Chien-Pao is going to be the only thing going to hit. Like realistically, he should be clicking Crash plus Body Press is what I'm expecting. Like I'm reading Crash Body Press into my Landorus, so that's why I'm clicking Follow Me here. And of course he has the Dragon Terror. There's no other terror for him in this matchup, and he doesn't Terror, the Sansir will KO him. Still makes a really good play though. He goes for Protect. So I don't break his Sash immediately. Because he sees my general game plan, right? Like, this is a very straightforward play on my part. But I didn't really expect him to go for it. Yeah, and that did a lot of damage. Now here I have another safe Follow Me Sansir, but I was a little bit worried about the Wide Guard this time, and I also didn't want to risk the Sansir miss. If I Follow Me Sansir and I miss, I'm in a pretty bad spot. So I decided to go for just Follow Me Earth Power to get guaranteed damage on the Chien-Pao, and to put in range of Aqua Jets. In hindsight though, I think my best play is Follow Me Sansir still, because he's not going to click Wide Guard again. No Zamazenta player usually likes to click Wide Guard in a certain state, because they know that Earth Power is very safe. And the Zamazenta is not in range of another Sansir, so his chances of clicking Wide Guard are significantly lower. But yeah, again, getting the guaranteed damage is good, because realistically, like if I clicked Sansir, I could have double missed or missed one target I didn't like. So Earth Power here is just giving me a way of just, damaging it. The bad part here though is I could get crit by Body Press, so now I'm in Sucker Punch range. So really unfortunate. If he didn't crit me, I could have went for Tailwind Sansir the next turn, but now I'm such a bad spot. Like, this crit is almost game losing in a sense, right? Like I need my Landorus alive for Raging Bolt, but I don't have a safe swap into Body Press anymore, because like he's a very safe play of Sucker Punching plus Body Pressing my Landorus, or Sucker Punching my Lando and clicking Body Press into my Roaring Moon, right? So, yeah, not amazing to be crit in a game 3, just because this game matters the most at this point, and I need everything to go my way, right? But I think my game plan wasn't really as amazing as my first two, because in a game 3, if I'm relying on Fallen plus Sanseer, probably isn't the best thing ever, but at this point I didn't really know what else to do. So I'm kind of freaking out. I just go for Terra Acro into Shenpao just to get a guaranteed KO onto it. And I go for Protect on Landorus to avoid Sucker Punch. He swaps out Shenpao out into Amoonguss though, which makes sense. And the Terra Acrobatic is nice to cover for that. I didn't actually think he could go to Amoonguss. I thought he would sack Shenpao at that point, but Amoonguss was a good swap to get Rocky Helmet damage on it. Also, like, Acrobatics never kills Amoonguss here. His Protect Lando was obvious, so I guess he was calling that. So he goes for the body press into the Rory Moon slot for that reason. But I get a critical hit. And it's actually worse for me. I did not want to get rid of Amoonguss here, because now he gets the free swap into Shenpao again. So he has the Sucker Punch pressure. So you see your Body Press actually does a lot to Rory Moon here. Yeah, that's a good chunk, because now he can Sucker Punch my Lando and Body Press my Rory Moon. But yeah, the snow is going to reveal what is something I didn't really expect. Again, like, I expected Raging Bolt in the back, but he's going to reveal Flutter Mane. So Flutter Mane is not what I usually expected for Zama players to have in the back. Every Zama player I played in practice has always led Flutter if they brought it. So him revealing Flutter in the back, and with a critical hit that one turn, honestly kind of sealed the deal for me for the rest of the game. And also the Amoonguss getting crits was really bad. I did not want Amoonguss getting crit, because if Amoonguss gets crit, I can't get Tail 1 up. Because my game plan was after Acrobatics Amoonguss, I could have Tail 1 Sanseer afterwards. And then with the speed control, I'm able to kind of outpace the Flutter Mane in the back. I can Acrobatics Aqua Jet it even. But with this here, it's unplayable now, and it's really unfortunate. Here I go for a double protect and Acrobatics to Flutter, hoping I can get a critical hit onto it. I got a protect, which is quite nice, but it doesn't really change much, because he goes for Icy Wind, and now my Rory Moon is in range of another Icy or Moonblast. And yeah, it's basically cooked. I think another option I had was go for Tailwind, but even with Tailwind, I don't think it secures me the game. Yeah. Because I was worried the Flutter was actually still faster than my slow Landorus. Booster Flutter is also probably faster than my Ursh in the back. But at this point, I probably had to bank on just getting the double protect plus Tailwind, and I can Acro or Power the Flutter afterwards. But I need to get the turn correct, because he can also go for Protect and Flutter and attack with this Zamazenta. So it was just kind of unfortunate of how the game was playing out. And I go for actually a triple protect on the Landorus. The triple protect is kind of hoping that he goes for another Icy. But yeah, no. By going Acrobatics and Flutter, the only option for that to play out for me in my favor was getting a critical hit. So then afterwards I can go for another Tailwind later. I don't get the triple. The game was basically already over at that point. I lose my Rory Moon, and I lose my Landorus after. You see me take it off my headset and controller at this point, or getting ready to, because, yeah. RNG didn't really go my way in the game 3, but I think the Flutter adjustment he had in the back was way better than my general game plan, because I had too many fast pieces in the back that couldn't beat the Flutter Mane. So yeah, Tomoyuki played really well, and a little disappointed about my adjustment. I should have honestly just ran back the Rory Moon Ursh, but I was so worried about Raging Bolt, just because I feel like the Terra Acrobatics Aqua Jet play, like, your best swap into that is Raging Bolt, or you lead Raging Bolt, then I had to repivot, right? So I was respecting that play too much. I got it wrong, and I lose a set because of that. But yeah, no, it was really cool to play Snow, one of the best Japanese players in my opinion, and he's a really cool guy. I got to talk about it a little bit afterwards at the after party. Really fun guy to talk to. But yeah, that was my analysis of my round 7 in Swiss versus Tomoyuki. And the second analysis I had on this channel for round review. I'm reviewing all my losses, but reviewing losses versus really strong players, I think talking about my thought process on these games, I think is really important, and kind of showing like what could have went better, what could have gone worse. Because I don't think I played this game like the best, but I also don't think I played the worst. I definitely played better in the stream set than some of my other ones in the past, and I think I was just a few turns away from winning. And if I had maybe some slightly better RNG, like, you know, ignoring the crits and such, right, then maybe I could have won this game. But, you know, this is Pokemon, and I still enjoyed this match. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy the VOD review for my EUIC game. That's going to be it for today, I guess. If you guys have any more questions, or if you guys want to see any other content, feel free to let me know in the comments. But yeah, that'll be for today, guys. And I'll catch you all later. Goodbye.